Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We are Baltimore Positive, positively getting the Maryland Crab Cake Tour back out on the road. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery and GBMC. I'm walking a mile in their shoes. So last month I did that. I'm going to get a shirt that's a bigger size for me, maybe one of the red ones as well. Also, our friends at Farnan and Dermer. They are our comfort guys, HVAC and AC, and certainly AC on the 90-degree days that are hopefully coming very, very soon. We won't need the heat, and plumbing's always around the corner for that. This guy has not been on in like a minute. He disappeared to Europe. I disappeared to South America. I don't even think our trains crossed at the end of the Ovechkin year or the end of the hockey season. Leonard Raskin is back from Europa after I am back from Sudamerica. And, man, we got to. The baseball season might be over. I'm not even sure before we even get to that, but we've had a draft we missed out on. There's a whole bunch of sports stuff we can do. But more than that, like, you're very proud of your son. Your son's gone on this odyssey to Ohio State and over to Ireland and studied in Europe, and he's into all of this fancy European stuff. And then I didn't know you were doing another European odyssey. Did you get the Northern Lights this time or no?
No. We did Southern Italy to Rome. So we started graduation at Trinity College in Dublin. Was magnificent. I've never seen anything like it. And when he went to Ohio State, graduation was in the Shoe, so the big stadium. And they had 13,000 graduates in his class that year. And all those kids are in the stadium, and you don't call their names. You don't see, you just come in. They do some speeches. They were terrible. And then you get your degree and you leave. Well, this one, there was 120 kids. It's all in Latin. The ceremony's in Latin. But before that, the director, the head of the school, gets up and speaks about what it is. It's a tradition going back to the early 1800s. And they call the kids up 6 at a time, and they bestow their master's degree on them. And then the kids turn around and hold their degree, and the whole place goes crazy. It's in a beautiful old Irish theater. It's magnificent. So graduation was on Thursday, and strangely, the way the world works, you just never know how the world works, Ness. Wednesday night, the day before graduation, Matthew got an email from St. Louis University that he'd been accepted to the PhD program at St. Louis, so he's going to be a Billiken for the next 6 years.
Oh, dude, I got a barbecue joint for you out there and some frozen custard's going to take good care of you.
There you go.
St. Louis, I can. By the way, Viviano's coming on from St. Louis, so we'll get you hooked up. They got like a whole Little Italy area there where Yogi Berra grew up. You know about that, right? The Hill.
His cousin, our niece Laura, is in med school at Washington University.
Right down the street.
So he'll have a cousin really close right there. She's 2 years ahead of him in that. But he's going to be going to St. Louis.
St. Louis is no Dublin, I'm going to tell you, but it's better than Columbus for me.
No Dublin. So he's going to be back in the States, which makes his mother very happy. Kathy's all half-eat up that he's not going to be across the ocean. So we had graduation. It was magnificent.
Just going to be across the Mississippi.
That's right. And then after a couple days in Ireland, we jetted off to southern Italy.
And had a vacation.
Sicily.
So you did it to a vacation thing.
Turned it into a vacation, graduation vacation.
Amalfi? Did you do Amalfi Coast?
We did Amalfi and Naples, and then we did Rome.
I've never been to Italy. I've had 3 times. I was flying to Milan and Rome to see Italy, and 3 times my wife has gotten sick, and we never went. My wife finally went with her dad and her sister last month. They went the day after Easter. So they did Rome, Florence, and Venice.
Yes, I did that
They
last
did the
time
north. Right. Okay. So you had told me that, and so many of my friends love Florence. Everybody loves Florence.
Beautiful.
Right?
Rome is just amazing. I mean, there's nothing like it. It's an incredible city. You can go into any door on any street and eat. I mean, it's like New Orleans, I say. New Orleans, you can walk into any dive or any 5-star and get a Michelin meal. Same in Rome. There's just not a bad meal there. We ate and walked, and the sights and the history of the city. It's just so magnificent. So, but we did Capri. We did the Amalfi Coast. We did Sicily. We did Palermo. We went all over and just had a blast eating and drinking and walking our way. Pompeii. Went and saw the ruins and Vesuvius and Mount Etna and just
So you had
loved it.
never been to any of those places?
No, none of those
Oh,
places.
okay. All right, cool. I've never been
So
either. So,
it
I
was
mean, I did
breathtaking.
my trip was and I haven't talked much about my
Right,
trip at
right.
all. You and I haven't talked since I went to South America.
No, we were on last before you
All
left.
right. So I did 2 days in Montevideo,
Yeah, yeah.
Uruguay. I then took the boat 2.5 hours up the river to Buenos Aires, where I have been. Buenos
Yeah.
Aires is the only place I went that I had been before.
Okay.
And I had the greatest meal of my life in Buenos Aires at this steakhouse called Cabana Las Lilas.
Where to get
It's
it?
in a plaza down in Puerto Madero. The boat let off 6 blocks from there. I stayed at the Sheraton. I walked around and ate pizza with Maradona.
There you go.
And, I chased the ghost of Messi.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
had coffee in this famous coffee house, Cafe Tortoni, they do the tango, do all that.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
only did one night in Buenos Aires. Then I did 3 days in Santiago, Chile.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I was going to go to Vina del Mar, but I didn't. I just walked 15 miles through
Mm.
Santiago instead because I love cities and,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of that. And Santiago is like Vegas or Albuquerque. It's like a desert city
Yep.
surrounded by these lush mountains. So it was just beautiful.
That's
Santiago. I
it.
saw AC/DC. I saw Bryan Adams. And then
That's
I
great.
went to Machu Picchu. So I
Right. There
flew
you go.
through Lima to Cusco at 11,000
Yep.
feet.
Yep.
And then I had to take a bus and a train down the mountain to Machu Picchu to 8,000 feet. I did Machu
Magnificent.
Picchu, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then I flew to Bogota, Colombia, and I with the mountains there. And I did one night in Bogota, which is plenty for any
Yeah.
Venezuelan.
Yeah.
And then I did 3 days in Medellin, Colombia, which
Yep.
they now have the cable cars and Comuna 13, and they've cleaned all the drugs out.
Yeah.
Medellin's unbelievably beautiful and
Wow.
unbelievably perfect climate wise and unbelievably expatted up. A lot of English
Wow.
going on
Wow.
there. Well, the money goes a
Yeah,
million
sure.
miles.
The money goes.
You know what I mean? You go get a steak dinner, it's $18
That's
in
what
Colombia. It's
it's about.
crazy.
That's what it's about.
And then I went to Cartagena, which you can avoid because it's kind of not
Yeah.
it's not great. So either way, that was my trip. But like
Yeah.
I spoke a lot of Spanish. Did you learn any Italian or
A
no?
little bit, and thank God for Google Translate. Just you get around and a lot of English over there. But we tried. We did a little bit,
Not a
and
lot
some
of
of
English in South America now.
some of the most
You got to have
amazing food.
Espanol.
Some of the most amazing food in Termina. We went to I love this. Went to a place right in the main square of the city that is famous for the founding place of limoncello, and they have the little chocolate balls
Yes, please.
with the limoncello in it.
Okay.
So they give you a couple to pop in and taste. So I bought a box. It was like a pound. That didn't make it home. That was our second stop. So we had 12, 13 days
Did you
to
get
eat
bombed on it?
No.
Okay. All right.
Just little like peanut M&M size.
Uh-huh.
You just pop them in, and they're just a little addiction food. And then a beautiful bottle of limoncello. And then went to another place where I'll tell you what, I've had some cannolis. Never had a cannoli this smooth in my life.
I actually had a cannoli at the Sopranos cannoli shop up in New Jersey. Yeah,
the
I've done
cream
that.
was so smooth and fresh. Go behind the counter, back to where they're putting it in and making them for the counter. The guy scoops it right in, hands it to you. It's just
nice.
heaven. And
where was this?
that was in Terramina.
All right.
In the south.
I haven't done Italy,
Sicily.
but my wife came back. Now you've come back raving. Everybody I know,
it's so magnificent.
all my friends that have been to Florence tell me it's the greatest place they've ever been. So like, it's not necessarily on my bucket list because we discussed this.
Yeah.
But it's moving up the chain.
That's right.
When next time I go to Europe, I'm going to consider spending some time in Italy. Right now,
you're crazy.
I'm a Rush guy, right? Right?
Yeah.
So Rush has now put the tour out, and Bryan Adams has announced a whole bunch of dates. By the way, I had Bryan Adams, guitar player, on while you were gone.
Okay.
Here, you want a great story? You want to go because you like music in this.
Sure.
I show up in Montevideo and it's day 2 of my trip. And by the way, I loved Montevideo. Montevideo is my favorite place that I went of all the places that I went. And Machu Picchu is unbelievable.
Yeah, sure.
But I went to Montevideo, and people are like, you went here, you went there. Medellin, I would recommend Medellin. I would but I would recommend Montevideo. So I'm in Montevideo and I can't get a ticket to the concert. It's
Right.
sold out. There's no
Right.
secondary market at all. There's no way to buy a ticket. There was no box office at this arena.
Wow.
And I went out to this neighborhood, took a bus out, regular bus,
Right.
regular people, because that's what I do when
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
traveling. And I'm out there with my finger in the air, looking to buy a ticket in Spanish, and nobody's got a ticket. And a guy comes up with his wife. His name was Nestor.
Ah.
So there's a lot of Nestors running around South America, which made me feel a little bit more comfortable.
Right.
I heard somebody go, Nestor, Nestor. I turned around. Somebody was yelling at her kid.
Right.
Her kid's name was Nestor, So I had a lot of them on the intercoms and airports.
Right.
Nestor Alvarez. And I'm like, hey, they said my name. Maybe they, because I never hear that here, right? It's weird.
Right.
So I'm in Montevideo. I get a ticket to the concert. We get cattled into this arena. And Bryan Adams comes on, and the guitar player is not his guitar player. Like, I've been seeing Bryan Adams for 100 years. I'm like, so I Google, Wi-Fi works perfect. And it turns out Keith Scott had like an eye thing that he had to get a surgery. So this guy was the guitar player for Sarah McLachlan, Canadian guy. And I had him on the show. He got called 72 hours before the tour was going to start in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Brazil, all through South America. Bryan Adams had 25 shows and no guitar player 3 days before. Bryan Adams calls this guy, and this guy didn't even believe that it was Bryan Adams. And he had done a single with Bryan Adams, like 2009. He and Bryan Adams spent time in a studio together doing a song, but he hadn't heard from Bryan Adams.
And
Bryan Adams called him and said, look, I need you to learn 26 songs in 3 days. I need you to meet me in Puerto Rico. We're not going to have any time to rehearse. You have to go right on stage. And literally no sound check, nothing. He went down 26 Bryan Adams songs, and I saw him in maybe like the 12th night of the tour.
Right.
So by the time I saw him,
he was rocking.
Unbelievable. When I tell my musician friends, they're like, that's an unheard of thing this guy did. His name's Luke Doucette. You can find it at Baltimore Positive. So,
that's crazy.
I trip it. I came home and I wrote to his music people up in Canada. I saw him talking about it at the Junos, and the reason for that was Rush. Rush put the band back together.
Yes.
They showed up at the Junos unannounced and did Finding My Way.
Yep.
Right. And you're going to see Rush, right?
I'm going to see him. Absolutely.
You already bought your tickets, right? Like
absolutely.
You went in.
I've got him. Yeah, I got him right away.
Okay. So I figured you were that guy. So Rush has now announced a whole European leg.
There you go. Are you going over there to see him?
They're playing at the end of this run, and I'm convinced they're going to wind up doing the Sphere.
More.
Like, I'm convinced Getty's going to because they're so video oriented, they could do things at the Sphere that would make me want to pay $500 to see him, right? Like literally, right? So I'm thinking now that they've got this together, they've done the American dates, the Canadian dates. I almost went to Mexico City and I can't drink the water, but I thought about it, and I thought about going to Edmonton and Vancouver when that was the end of the tour. I'm like, they're going to end it. I'm going to be in Vancouver. I'm going to go do Banff because Banff's on my bucket list, right? Banff is the thing that's on the bucket list. Never been to Calgary, never been to Edmonton, but Banff is the thing. Trotz now is retired.
Yes.
And he has a lake house in like Dawson, British Columbia, in the middle of nowhere. So like, I'm going to chase Rush. And then they added all of these European dates.
There you go.
And I'm like, all right, I've been to Stockholm and I've been to Oslo, but I've never been to Helsinki.
Okay. And they're going there.
That's April of next year. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to do Scandinavia again.
It's a way to do it.
So this is like, these touring bands make me want to do things that I would have never gone to Montevideo.
Right.
If I ever meet Bryan Adams, I'll give him a hug and say, I went places because you dragged me there.
Right. There you go. Just think all those deadheads that did the world on acid because of the dead.
Well, I'm not on acid. Believe me, man. I'm on Google Translate when I'm in Montevideo.
These people traveled the world. Think about some of the people. They've traveled the world at hostels and buses, and obviously there's some people that did 5-star hotels. But there are people that just traveled the world to follow the dead. What gets in your juices
that makes you want to do this in a way that, like, your son has led you places that you never would have gone because of his education and higher education.
Desire to learn.
You never would have been in Italy last week if he had been a different kind of kid in a different kind of way, a different kind of track.
You're right. You're right. We've gone places because of him. We've gone places otherwise. But I'll
Well,
tell you
there's
what.
that because he was in a band that did
Yeah,
dragged you
yeah.
places because he was in
But
the
I'll
Ohio
tell you.
State band. So I
But I'll
think
tell you
people
what.
do
The thing
things and
is.
experience that whether their kids in a soccer program
Yep.
and they wind up in a courtyard in Western Massachusetts
Yep.
seeing the world's biggest ball of twine because their kids in a little league program.
Yep.
I do think there's a part of travel that I would put in the Mark Twain category. That's one of the things that you talk about with your American dream at Raskin
Absolutely.
Global and making money, which is you get the freedom to buy a boat if that's what you want to do, to go hunt dead deer if you're Ted Nugent,
That's
to
right.
like whatever you want to do that you get a
And
chance to go do it. I love rock and roll. I love food. I love travel. I love variety.
yep.
And I love Bruce Springsteen, which took me to Newark, New Jersey last week for the first time. I went to the Devils hockey rink. I had never been there. Bruce dragged me there last Monday. So there.
That's it. I mean, the thing that's so amazing to me, Ness, is you, I mean, Matthew's 24. His birthday was while we were away, so he just turned 24. And when I was his age, we've talked about this many a time. The proverbial, didn't have a pot to piss in. You know,
Dude, I grew up and my son, like in this little row house in
right,
Dundalk. To
right.
think that I am
Three-bedroom apartment
standing in
Randallstown.
Santiago, Chile,
Right.
with 100,000 people rocking
That's
out
right.
the highway to hell, wearing little red ear.
That's right.
Like, dude, I mean,
I look around. I mean, I'm in the Vatican.
I am so blessed.
I'm in the Vatican Square, and I'm at the Pantheon, and I'm at the ruins in Rome where Caesar was killed and buried, and
If that doesn't make you appreciate your shit,
oh
nothing
my
will.
God, that's right. I look around and you see all these people there, and it's just so amazing. And I said, oh, this other thing was really crazy. Right in the center of Rome, so the center of the city, we're driving back to our hotel, and we see this sign says Trinity College. Thinking that's weird. Matthew went to Trinity College in Dublin. So the next day we were walking around the city, and we put that on our radar for our map. And we went to this place, and it was Trinity College, Dublin bar in the center of Rome. And they had all the pictures of things at the college, and they serving Guinness and Jameson and all the Irish lunch. It was
like finding a
amazing.
Raven bar in
the
Florida.
in the middle of nowhere. So we had lunch at Trinity College in Rome, and talking to the waitress who was from Belfast, and all the staff is Irish, and just unbelievable. And thinking, when I was his age, when I was 24, I couldn't spell Trinity College. More or less, A, thought I would ever be in Dublin. More or less, C, think my son was going to go to school there, and we would hang out in a bar in Rome called Trinity College. And it was just a magnificent. And I think the big thing, you talk about, the book and what we talk about with the people we work with and advise, you can buy stuff. We all can buy stuff. And stuff gives you a moment of gratification. And some stuff you actually treasure, and it gives you a little longer than that. But most stuff goes away quickly, but the memories of this, and I tell people all the time, one of the things I also say is do it when you're physically well. People think I'm going to retire and I'll get there someday. And I'll tell you what, this in Europe, it was built on hills and steps.
I'm keeping some of the sedentary stuff for later in my life,
Right.
like the Alaska cruise thing.
Right.
Like that's something that I can do but like going up Comuna 13 and crawling up into the hills of used to be the favelas in Medellin.
Yeah.
It took.
It's not for the old.
Yeah, I mean, just being someplace where altitude.
Yes.
When I put into my clone that helps me travel, that I was going to Machu Picchu, it said, "Oh, you're 58, you're 57, it's 11,000 feet. How's your heart? How's your health?"
That's right.
Because how your heart and how your health is. My
Matters.
wife and her dad's 80 years old and is in better shape than you and me.
Yeah.
And like they did hilly, they climbed to the top of the tower in wherever, Florence or Venice, whatever, in these churches.
Yeah, and we did
where there's no elevator to get up to the top of the thing. You gotta go up.
Spiral stairs inside of cupolas, and you're holding a rope, pulling yourself up the final 20 steps.
And if you got the picture from the top of there, you're out of breath.
Oh man, these things are steep, and when you get up there,
you need to be physically able to do that. You don't want to wait till you're 75 to do that.
That's right. We saw people in wheelchairs and with walkers, and they're getting around, but Man, if you can do it younger, there's one thing to say
That's
for
great
retirement.
advice, Leonard. That may be one of
There's
the
one
really
thing
wise things you've ever said. And
I'm telling
probably
you.
the reason I should have gone to Yankee Stadium Monday night and saw Springsteen Tuesday night at Long Island. Because I was this close, but it's like I feel good. It's 80
Right,
degrees.
right.
It's only $30 to get on the bus.
And
It's
you
too
could have
much
gone. You
trouble.
could have gone and watched the Orioles throw
Lose 12 to
with
1.
a 13 ERA, right? What's the team ERA right now? 8?
The reason I almost went to New York on
Oh,
Monday night. See, you've been in Italy. Here was
yes.
the shtick. On Friday morning, Luke and I have been talking about these Yankee games for a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's bad.
I said to Luke on Friday morning after they, played against the Astros, if they sweep the first 3 games, you and I are getting on the 420 bus. And we're
Yeah.
going to run wild in New York all day. And because it's going to be 70 in New York on Monday,
Perfect.
80 in New York on Tuesday. And I'm like, we're going to go up and we're going to go to the game. But if the Orioles have to sweep the first 3 games, and of course they're losing 6-0 in the second inning on Friday night, I text them. I'm like, they at least could have made it interesting,
Could have given us a shot.
So
well,
then,
for me,
we did radio Sunday night, and I'm like, I'm going to go anyway because I was going to why am I treating this like the Orioles need to win for me to go to New York on a 70-degree day?
No reason, but the
I
fact
should have
of the
gone
matter
anyway.
Is, for me, I'm jumping on the phone just to check in, here and there, and I'm going, oh, that's right. The game starts at 1:30 in the morning. I'm not watching.
Oh, right.
But every now and then I wake up in the morning and check the score. I was like 12 to 1, 10 to 2. What is going on here? So then the next one was a day game. There was a day game which came on at like 8 o'clock. So I watched some of it. I have DirecTV. I can log in.
Was that the Grand Slam game?
Oh my God, it was
terrible.
It
was 2 Grand Slam games.
Terrible.
Okay. Yeah.
Terrible. So I just said, oh well, that's that. And then we got home Tuesday night, landed in Dulles, and drove home, rode home from Dulles and listened to the Marlins game, the first Marlins game on the radio, and thought we had a nice thing going. And then by the time we got home, it was 7-7, and the good news is they pulled that one out. But I guess when you don't have pitching and fundamentals aren't fundamentals, it doesn't look good. So let's hope.
They don't take defense. I hope you take people's money more seriously than they take defense.
Oh, my goodness. Defense is critical. In money and in baseball and in football. And speaking of, 2 seconds, right? The draft. I missed the draft, although I saw some of the draft. And I think we did okay.
Yeah, they got to figure the center thing out. But
yes.
They got a guard. They got a player they like. Which is great.
And they got another backup quarterback out of unsigned third in the Heisman.
It's not going to win a Super Bowl for me. The focus out has to be like, how far away are they from winning a Super Bowl with a rookie coach and a 3-time MVP quarterback?
You got to give them the Mike McDonald, right? 2 years. That's the standard. It's a new standard.
Listen, I'm trying to fix the baseball team. I'm trying to save this horse race that we have coming up next week here.
Wow.
Right?
How about that? Last to first woman trainer to win the Derby. I watched the Derby. I did watch the Derby. I stayed up.
You stayed up and watched it. Okay.
Yeah, I love the Derby.
So do we.
Races.
I told this to John Martin from the lottery a little while ago. I said, my wife and I, we worked out Saturday afternoon. Thank you, Planet Fitness. We came home. We're sweaty. We're a mess. It was like 5:30 when we got home. We were going to go to Costas and Timonium, and it was like, that's the OTB. There's going to be a lot of people there.
Crazy.
There's going to be a lot of people there. Do we want that? And you know what I said to my wife? I'm like, first off, we're exhausted.
Yeah.
We had dinner. We had food here. I'm like, we love the NBC coverage.
I do.
I said, I love to sit. Let's tape it. Let's sit and watch the hour and a half leading up to it.
Right.
Let's hear all the stories that make us cry.
That's right.
The so happy trainer whose wife died.
Oh my God, how horrible was that?
Right. I mean, so that you watched it too.
Yeah.
And when it was over, and Donna and I are friends. She'll be on the show next week, and Randy Moss will be on the show next week, part of the broadcast team from NBC. Still trying to get Kornacki. I can't get Kornacki on, but he's a Bills fan anyway. But after the race, when Donna's there doing her thing with the jockey, I just started sobbing.
Beat his brother. Beat his brother by a head.
Like every year at the Derby,
was that?
She does something to me on the backside of that track that gets me really emotional.
She's done. I guess she's retiring.
She's retiring, right? But I get really that in the Stanley Cup. Right. When the Stanley Cup gets hoisted,
it's coming.
I get emotional
I
about
think it's
that.
going to go to Colorado. That's my prediction there.
More so than when the Super Bowl happens and the confetti
Yeah,
flies.
yeah,
More so
yeah.
than when the World Series and they're all diving on each other. Like that
Yeah,
doesn't. I don't get emotional about
no,
that.
Stanley
But
Cup
when
is
they
me.
talk, when Donna talks to the
The
Derby
jockey.
jockey,
It's great.
and he speaks
Great.
broken English and he's never won and it's kind of hit him and he just beat his brother.
Yep.
Like,
It was
boy,
amazing. He
if
was
that
rolling.
doesn't get you
Tears were
right,
rolling. He was rolling. It
if
was
that
unbelievable.
doesn't get you want to
You
be
got no
involved in the
heart.
Preakness.
You got no heart. So you going to Laurel?
Yes, I am.
You are.
Yes, I am.
Okay. You got a box up there? What are you gonna?
No. I know you'd find this hard to believe, Leonard, but they think I'm a media member all these years.
Really?
I know it's like you think I have an audience. They think I'm a media
Wow,
member.
that's awesome. Good for
So
them.
it's amazing.
Don't let the word out.
Yeah, Raskin Global is here. It'll only be like my
Word out.
38th Preakness press pass or something like
Well,
that.
here's
Like
the
I'd
thing.
add them up.
So
Only one of
I've
them ever got
been-
me thrown out of the press box, and I still don't know what I did wrong. But
I've been to the Derby.
yeah,
I've not gone to the Preakness as a real fan. So that's one of the things when it comes back to Pimlico, hopefully. When it's back here,
I feel
I'll have to
terrible
get
that
there.
you never went over to the old girl and like
No, wasn't a thing.
I've been
I
to
love it.
35 Preaknesses. So
Well, there you go. We'll have to.
This will be the first one I've been to in Laurel. This
There
will
you
be the
go.
first time I've been to with less than 5,000 people.
Whole new thing. I've been to Laurel. It's really nice there. I like it.
You've got me concerned now, Leonard, that I have to figure out my attire. So Leonard
You
Raskin
gotta,
is
you
here.
gotta
He is
look
Raskin
horse.
Global.
You got to look horse.
He manages money and expectations and Italian dinner
enjoy
reservations
your
as
life.
well.
Enjoy your life. That's what matters.
That's most important. There you go. I'll leave it at that. We'll
Amen.
drop the mic. I'm Nestor. We're Baltimore Positive. Stay with us.